Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. And when you make that choice, when you decide to turn your back on what's comfortable and safe and what some would call common sense, well, that's day one. From there, it only gets tougher. So just make sure this is something you want, because the easy way out will always be there, ready to wash you away. All you have to do is pick up your feet. But you aren't going to, are you? With each step comes the decision to take another. You're on your way now, but this is no time to dwell on how far you've come. You're in a fight against an opponent you can't see, but oh, you can feel him on your heels, can't you? Feel him breathing down your neck. You know what that is? That's you. Your fears, your doubts, and insecurities all lined up like a firing squad, ready to shoot you out of the sky. But don't lose heart. While they're not easily defeated, they are far from invincible. Remember, this is the grind, the battle royale between you and your mind, your body, and the devil on your shoulder who's telling you that this is just a game. This is just a waste of time. Your opponents are stronger than you. Drown out the voice of uncertainty with the sound of your own heartbeat. Burn away your self-doubt with a fire lit beneath you. Remember what we're fighting for, and never forget that momentum is a cruel mistress. She can turn on a dime or the smallest mistake. She is ever searching for the weak place in your armor, that one tiny thing you forgot to prepare for. So as long as the devil is hiding the details, the question remains, is that all you got? Are you sure? And when the answer is yes, when you've done all you can to prepare yourself for battle, then it's time to go forth and boldly face your enemy, the enemy within. Only now you must take that fight into the open, into hostile territory. You're a lion in a field of lions, all hunting the same elusive prey with a desperate starvation that says victory is the only thing that can keep you alive. So believe that voice that says you can run a little faster, and you can throw a little harder, and that for you, the laws of physics are merely a suggestion. Luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. Sweat, on the other hand, is for those who know it's a choice. So decide now, because destiny waits for no man. And when your time comes and 1,000 different voices are trying to tell you you're not ready for it, listen instead to that lone voice of dissent. The one that says you are ready, you are prepared. It's all up to you now. So rise and shine.
Let's do this.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Pittsburgh Studio Number 1, it's Cold War Radio. Here's your host, Hutch Bailey Jr.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and choosing Cold War Radio this evening from the Kinzua Country Studio in the Allegheny National Forest. I'm your host, Hutch Bailey Jr. The Cold War Radio patron hotline, 412-206-6208. The voicemail, 412-567-1460. Please visit SteelCityResistance.com, where you can become a Cold War Radio patron. You can catch the research room there, the video 2 page. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealHutchB. On Gab, Hutch Bailey Jr. Get the podcast on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or we're here live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Most of the time, at least 8 to 10 p.m. If you'd like to write to the program, please write to SCRTV at live.com, or you can also write to Cold War Radio, P.O. Box 10433, 370 Castle Shannon Boulevard, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15234. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it. We got a heck of a show coming up for you this evening. Let's go to Virginia and welcome Jack to the program. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Hutch. Glad to see you got up there. It seems like a nice, cool front has moved in down here, and I'm sure it's hit up there. The fall is upon us.
It is. Matter of fact, the last time I was up here, it was chilly. I had the furnace on. But this time, my son-in-law finally installed the wood stove. So I got a wood burner going on up here. It's going to be an excellent evening. The colder, the better.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. The smell of the oak hardwood smoke and the fire in the camp. That's just...
One of the things my wife said was, man, I can smell that in here, and I like it. I'm like, yeah, all right. You almost scared me there for a minute, but I love the smell of wood stoves too. Now, we got a little bit of a technical difficulty. I'm having problems with my volume, so I might ask Jack, or if we get to the phones, a caller might have to repeat themselves. I got to figure this out. We ran out of time and figured that it's up enough that we can have a decent show, but every time you get something squared away, something else goes wrong. I mean, I'm up here now, Jack, and I got the dual monitors going on, you know what I mean? I got the iPad hooked up. I got the hotspot doing the 5G thing, and I can't hear you, man. I mean, it's like, it's always something.
Well, hopefully the folks tuned in can hear us, and that, maybe I would shout out to the Spreaker chat room, the VFW there. Do we come across decent for you all tonight?
Hope so, man. I hope everything's going good. You know, I did figure out something that was different. I had Audacity running earlier, and something tells me that's going to be maybe the cause of this. It could very well be that. So, in the background, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that application off if I can do it and still get on with the show here.
There you go. Hey, we're sounding good to them. You just can't hear
good.
Me. I can hear you. So.
Yeah, that's the important thing. I mean, it really is. And that's why I said, you know what, forget about it. Let's just drive on, and we'll do the shows. I can hear you. I mean, it's not people don't want to hear this stuff, but what are you going to do, man? I mean, but actually, it is a little bit of a pain, but it's not that big of a deal. But I'm still going to get rid of this anyway if we can handle it. While we're in the middle of this, we'll see. We got a good show lined up for you for sure. There's no question about that. I wanted to get before we go that far though. I wonder what's your outlook lately. I haven't asked you that question for a while, and I mean we're living in seriously historic times, and ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that. Take notes, man. This is something that these people are literally trying to destroy the country, and I wonder if it's ever going to come out. I mean, I don't even know how deep if it's conspiratorial in nature with China. You know, I keep hearing that, and I really don't.
Hey, when the president goes in front of the United Nations and basically bows down before China, hey, we're going to do everything
But like I saw Wayne Allen Root today wrote a piece and said, the fire departments, the police departments, and the military are getting gutted over these vaccination mandates. Is that China's plan? And I'm thinking, that's a little bit of a reach, but maybe not.
If you think about, if you're thinking on an aspect of an all-out hot war between the nations, I don't think that's going to happen. I think. No. In my opinion, what they're trying to do is weaken the United States to the point that, and the states and the people have already been so willing to surrender their rights. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where they don't have rights, or we don't have rights anymore, and then the government, the people that are left in charge of what is the rotting carcass of what used to be the United States of America, will just combined with whatever and go forth with the plan, right?
Yeah.
We will not be in a position to fight we'd have to fight our folks here to take back before, it went to the global thing. So I know that's what's in progress. You've talked about it on your shows. You think about how long you've done your show, and you've talked about the UN Agenda 21, the Agenda 2030, and the experience that you've seen just in the city where you live, evidence of this plan being slowly put into place. You always say that Pittsburgh, hey, this is like the one of the test tubes of socialism or communism, and see how far we can go. And you're ready to leave. So.
You ain't gonna believe this. I just found it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, that's good.
I know it is.
That's good. Was it something simple? If it was, write it down on the little.
I need to, but I never knew I had to turn that knob right there to control my volume. I just happened to look at it, and it's like, let's try that one. Anyway.
Is it on your mixer?
Yeah. Yeah, 910 USB in 910. So there's that. So I'm up here. I'm clipping a little bit, aren't I? I don't like the quality of mine.
You sound fine to me, and the folks in the chat room said we're coming through powerful.
Okay, good enough, because I got this Shure mic, and you don't want to. I got 2 microphones that cost money, and I got about 8 that cost like $50, and they're almost equal. The difference is the expensive microphones need a preamp. They're not condenser microphones. The other ones, I just use the phantom power, and the mixer powers them. But so I get upset when the Shure mic doesn't work. This is the Ben Shapiro mic, if you've ever seen Ben Shapiro on the air. I had mine way before that little young punk had his, though.
Yeah, it doesn't help his voice, does it?
No. I never saw so many people. I got introduced to Andrew Breitbart. No, not Andrew Breitbart. Steve Bannon at AM, or at what the hell is it called? Patriot Radio 125 on Sirius XM. He was the host.
Hold one that now it sounds like we're having an echo out to the broadcast.
Okay, that's I can fix
that. Maybe your headphone is too high.
I don't know.
It just happened after you said, "Hey, I got my."
Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah. The Shure mic, I just use, computerized deal. Right now, I got the blue Snowball. I used to use
I got the Yeti. It's not the Snowball, but it's the big silver bullet looking thing.
Yeah.
Those things come in handy too. That's what I used for those shows where when we didn't have the equipment, we were just doing straight to the laptop with the USB mic. I have it sitting up on the shelf.
Yeah, they're very good for what they are. I don't have my mic through my mixer, so.
Well, all right. So anyway, we got the Pennsylvania State Championship fishing tournament going on right around the way. So we're going to get to see, they got 2 big giant aquariums over on the fairground side, and everybody that catches their fish, they put them in there. So tomorrow there ought to be a bounty in there. Go see some muskies and some large and smallmouth bass and some pickerel.
Well, they got different classes of fish for the contest?
Yeah, they have different categories of winner. Like there's a lunker winner, and there's an overall pounds winner, and all kind of things like that. And they throw them all back. Most of them survive the tank. There's 2 of them. One of them's a big giant propane tank that they turned into an aquarium. It's pretty neat looking.
That's cool. I always like it when they, if you're going to do a fishing contest, and I love the way they bend over backwards now to release, to put them back out there so somebody else can enjoy catching them. It's one thing if you go out there and fish, you got to fish unless you're going to fish and put meat back in your freezer and stuff. I have no problem with that either. But for a tournament, a fun sporting event like that, the more fish that are returned to the water, the better.
No, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So that'll be fun. We got some door prizes right around 8:00. They start with the door prizes, and there's a freaking lot of them. So everybody brings their lawn chairs down there, and you sit there and the company that does the door prize, I guess it's a company. Their trick is that okay, Mr. J, you won this box of garbage bags and a mug. Everybody wins a mug. Like all these mugs lined up. But it's kind of interesting. All right, let's get down to business. Hunter Biden's newest purported Libya email dump yesterday, I'd never heard of this, unrelated to his reported laptop cache, reveals the Biden family's connections to the highest level in communist China. The emails by Hunter's business contact indicate Hunter, number 2 son, demanded a $2 million retainer plus success fees to unfreeze assets in Libya, frozen by the Obama-Biden administration. They also noted Hunter's business relationship with former Secretary of State John Kerry's stepson, Chris Hines, incidentally son of John Hines, the senator from the Pittsburgh area, from Pennsylvania, who was killed in a helicopter crash. I just ad-libbed that. And then before his body was cold, John Kerry went and swept up his wife, Teresa Hines Kerry. So anyway, he founded with Hunter in 2009 Rosemont Seneca Partners, a billion-dollar private equity firm. The first Libya email is reportedly dated January 28th of 2015, nearly 2 years before the end of the Obama-Biden administration. Per phone conversation, I met with number 2 son. He wants $2 million per year retainer plus success fees. He wants to hire his own people. It can be close circle of people for confidentiality. His dad is deciding to run or not, the email first read. The email then described Hunter as an alcoholic, a drug addict, and kicked out of the U.S. Army for cocaine, I think it was the Navy, chasing low-class hookers, constantly needs money, liquidity problems, and many more headaches. But Hunter's business contact, Democrat donor Sam Johari, said Hunter's redemptive qualities were his connection to Chris Hines and his access to the highest level in communist China. His positives are he is chairman of UN World Food Program, son of number 2 who has Libya file, access to state treasury business partner, Secretary of State John Forbes Kerry, son, and since he travels with dad, he is connected everywhere in Europe and Asia where MQ, Muammar Gaddafi, and LIA, Libya Investment Authority, had money frozen. He said he has access to the highest level in PRC, that's China, and he can help there. So this just gets worse and worse as we go, and I'm really stunned that there's absolutely nothing, including 13 dead service members, including a 4-star general who was going to warn communist China if the United States of America was going to attack them. And this Hunter Biden, this sleaze, you can almost smell it, Jack.
Well, you think about this. He got thrown out. He got thrown out of the military, and for being like the worst possible. I mean, you're the son of somebody that was a senator forever in Delaware. So you're talking somebody who's got the backing. He could be the worst soldier on post, and there's like hands off. But he was worse than that. They got rid of him, right? At the same time, this is not like 20 years later after a professional life of building up contacts. This is, a few years later, a failed military guy. What was he doing in there? Was he trying to do some more Chinese work while he was in the military?
No,
was he pushed in there
drugs.
to a?
He was doing cocaine. He got busted hot.
So you go from a failed military, I think he's an officer candidate deal or whatever. I think he was in his 30s when his father got him in there to begin with. And so he goes from that to all of a sudden, I mean, you have a guy that backs Hunter and says, okay, so, he's got a huge drug problem. He loves hookers and he can't keep money to save his ass. But on the good side, his dad is vice president. He has high-level contacts to the highest level in the People's Republic of China. Right there should have you shaking your head. Wait, hey, what's going on here?
Right. No,
how is this screw up got this?
And that's the thing that gets me is like, why isn't there anything that these people can do before Jake Tapper or before somebody says something? It's crazy.
Anytime, the evidence is all out there. We already saw during the election, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how in the final 6 months of a presidential or a national election, the Department of Justice ceases any investigations into it.
Right.
And I'm like, that